When I tell people this story, they're like, so that was a story about how you're not friends with Bruno Mars? How bad are the mosquitoes? What do you do if a shark attacks? What do tourists do that people from Hawaii hate? I think it's just not having aloha, right? Like we've talked about it in other videos and stuff, and we have a certain culture, you know. I always say it, we're halfway to the east geographically, and culturally, we're about 50% Eastern versus Western too. That's what makes us so unique. There's a different communal aspect to that Eastern culture versus the Western. You come here, just be respectful, thank you, aloha, wave, that's it. Just chill out and realize that you are not the center of the universe. Where is the cheapest place to live? The most inexpensive housing area for the most part is towards the west side. It's an island, it's all one thing in terms of shopping and stuff like that. Not that big, but in terms of real estate, the most inexpensive real estate is on the west side towards Waianae. Check out our video. Where's the best beach? It's like trying to pick your children. Depends on what you want to do, depends on the waves and what's going on that day. In the city, in town, in Waikiki, Moana, beautiful beaches with city views. The west side, beaches are beautiful. Check out our Waianae video for that. The east side, be careful of places like Sandy's and Makapu'u, Shore Break, but once you get to Waimanalo, Kailua, like light blue, green, I don't know. It's hard to pick the best beach. Are there still secret spots? Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's spots that only really locals know about. The internet has kind of screwed that up a little. People come from all over and go to secret places. There's still a couple places I'll go where I'm the only person around, or maybe just one or two other people that's their secret spot too. Is it difficult to get a job? It can be a little more difficult, I think, though, from the mainland. Like just regular blue level jobs. Hawaii is very much a who you know kind of place. If you're trying to get into that electrician job or like carpenter job or work at the shipyard, for sure, like who you know. What is the best luau to go to? Probably the Polynesian Cultural Center. It's a big long day though. How long does it take to fly to Hawaii? From California, it's like 5 hours. 4.5 one way and 5.5 the other way. How bad are the mosquitoes? Not as bad as Florida. You know, I lived in the south, not like the southeast. We have mosquitoes, but not that bad. Why do radio stations play the same music? My friend that I ran into, Pee from FM 100, or formerly from FM 100, I had that conversation with him one time. We ran into him in our Eva Beach video, our first one, and he said corporate guys will tell us to play the same stuff over and over. Nowadays with podcasts and iPhones and stuff, it's not really that much of an issue anyway, you know. What is the best hike on Oahu? I don't know. I'm one of those who is gonna be a hiker, but I'm really not. Coco Head is a very famous one, we'll bring that up. Huli'o'o is a popular one, but can be kind of dangerous. Mairi Pillbox, I mean, it's really hard to go wrong. So many beautiful hikes. What is the best hotel? For me, it's the Haleiwa military hotel, because I can get in and it's cheap. I don't know, I haven't been to that many hotels, honestly. So I'm gonna say Haleiwa if you're military, and if not, Disney Aulani for my wife, I'm sure. For me, maybe probably more the Marriott here, because it's cheaper, but next to Disney, and it's beautiful here in Ko'olina. And our locals' favorite is the Kahala Hotel. How much do I need to retire in Hawaii? I'm not a CPA, so check this out yourself, or a financial advisor. Pensions, so I hear, are not taxed in Hawaii. Retirement is, but not a pension. So we already have low property tax, so if you have a house that's paid off, all you have left is taxes and insurance, and then we don't tax pensions. So Hawaii might be a fair place to retire for retirees. Just depends on how you want to live. You know, if you want to retire like this and play golf every day, you might need a little more. I would say though, like right now with kids and whatnot, I need a minimum of $80,000 net to live. I consume $80,000 a year living right now without anything too extravagant. What island is the best to live on? This is a whole video, which island should I pick? The island of Hawaii or Hawaii Island? The big island? People that are moving there usually want more space, more country, to be by themselves, or they want to live in Kona, which is a very specific thing in Kona. Like high percentage of people from the mainland that live in Kona. Maui is like the whole island is a big resort, you know. That's not really true. You know, it gets nuanced. Put Hawaii Kai and Kailua into an island, and that's kind of Maui, I think. Check out our Hawaii Kai and our Kailua videos, and there you have Maui. Molokai is a small island. I have family from Molokai, and I have friends from Molokai. It's its own little thing. Everyone knows everyone. There's like 2,500 people that live, or 3,000, something like that. It's a small place. Same with Lanai. Lanai is even smaller. People primarily just go there to vacation or to hunt, like axis deer and muflons and whatnot. And then Kauai is the garden owl, very green, the most lush island. So where the islands come up is there's this hot spot, and then over millions of years they move. Each island like drifts in the chain. Kauai is the oldest of the main islands, along with Ni'ihau. They're super lush, like a lot of fresh water, rivers, amazing hike. And you have Oahu. Oahu might be one of the best places to live because you have everything here. Wages are typically better than the outer islands if you're getting a job and whatnot. You can go be in the country and be the only person on the beach. Military installations, resort. You can go into town and have nice dining, concerts, you know, entertainers still come here. You can still go see sports, although college usually. Oahu kind of has it all, so I would say Oahu is probably the best place. There's the island of Kaho'olawe. No one lives there. US government, you know, military used it for a bombing site forever. When I was in high school, my Hawaiian language class, they were gonna go camp there overnight. I think it's like a super fun site with the EPA and whatnot. No one lives there. And then Ni'ihau is an island that was bought and purchased by the Robinson family a long time ago, and only so many families and people live there, and it's kind of like this extension of Kauai, but pure Hawaiians. They speak Hawaiian, and now with the internet these days, maybe people from Ni'ihau that watch this, I'm not really sure. How do you pronounce Hawaiian words? So the Hawaiian alphabet has an okina, not an apostrophe. People refer to it as an apostrophe, and that's okay, you're not from here, it's all right. But it's called an okina, so it's a backwards apostrophe that's kind of straight, and it's used to break up vowels. A-E-I-O-U is A-E-I-O-U. So it's actually easy once you learn it because the vowel sounds never change. You might lessen the emphasis a little bit. The vowels are always A-E-I-O-U. He, ke, ra, mu, nu, pi, ve. So he, h, ke, ra, l. He, ke, ra, mu, nu, m, n, p, ve, w. Hawaii, W. A-E-I-O-U, he, ke, ra, mu, nu, pi, ve, okina. Himiniho. Himiniho means do it again. So that's the Hawaiian language song. Honolulu, not Honolulu. Rike highway, not like. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually really easy. It's not English, like for the foreign speakers. English is a hard language. You're like, oh yeah, you say that this way when you're saying this, but not this way when you're saying that. Hawaiian's always the same. What are the main problems in Hawaii? I try not to be negative. Like I really make it a focus to not live in negative or victim states. But traffic's an issue, so if you have to commute, no doubt. Cost of living, obviously. Those are the two main things people point out. Bureaucracy, you know, government moves slow. It's too beautiful. No, I miss I miss the snow. I miss like the seasons, like fall on the mainland. Like when you went to that fall, leaves changing into Christmas, that's pretty cool, you know. I miss that, I like that. It rains a lot sometimes. We did a video, 15 things I hate about Hawaii. That'd probably be a better reference point, but we're not a big problem. If a natural disaster were to happen, it might be kind of tough. You're cut off from the world. Who's the governor? The governor is Governor Ige, and there's guys that do a good impression of him. I won't try. So governor is a Democrat right now. The mayor is a Republican, even though supposedly the mayor position's bipartisan and whatnot, but he's more of a free market business guy. Check out the political horseshoe. I want to make this a political thing. But usually if you're super far right, super far left, you're just right next to each other in the horseshoe. The free thinkers lie in the middle. That's where I like to be. What school did Obama go to? Obama went to Punahou. Punahou is like the quintessential private school, even more so since Obama, you know, became Obama. Does Bruno Mars hang out in public? I don't think Bruno Mars lives here regularly. My good friend Jordan, he came to my high school, mid-high school, long story. He came from another high school. So I started hanging out with him, his friends and him. They were from more town side, and they would always say, you gotta meet this guy, you gotta meet Peter, bro. Like you and Peter would get along, you gotta meet Peter. There'd be times where they're like, oh, Peter came out last weekend, you didn't come out, or you know, whatever. And then later I was in California and I heard like Bruno Mars on the radio, and I was like, because the whole thing about Peter like could dance, you know, and we're all trying to impress girls, and I see Peter dance on this VHS tape or whatever. Anyways, it never linked up. There was like a few months period of time where I was trying to line it up with Peter, but I think he was always being Michael Jackson at Planet Hollywood. Well, I'm in California, I'm listening to the radio, and I'm like, oh, this guy's got like a little, you know, little soul to him. And I remember hearing about this Peter guy, so I Googled him, and I'm like, that's Peter, you know? I was almost acquainted with Bruno Mars, but I wasn't. When I tell people this story, they're like, so that was a story about how you're not friends with Bruno Mars? And essentially that is what that is. Bruno, if you watch this, what's up, bro? We're almost friends. What is Hawaii's football team? Hawaii's college football team is UH, University of Hawaii. We had some golden years and then got smashed by Georgia. We have a couple of players in the NFL, quarterbacks. So Marcus Mariota was with Tennessee until recently. So all kinds of Tennessee fans all over the place. Now Tua Tagovailoa is with Miami. So guarantee as this season starts, you see Miami fans like, where'd you guys come from? Do you even know where Miami is, you know? Other than that, you do see typical, I think, a lot of Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers, San Francisco 49ers, Kansas City Chiefs, you know, which they're good right now, so easy to see. But you'd see some of them before. Those are the popular ones. And some Raiders fans for sure. How do locals say hi? Hi. How's it? Hey, how's it? When we came here, I wish that you like kept the camera on actually. He's like, hey, what's up, bro? Drew, how do locals say hi? What special Hawaii-only menu items does McDonald's have? Good question. They have like seasonal, you know, the apple pie. They have like haupia pie, taro pie. I think guava too, yeah? Do they have guava? Try not to eat it. Meanwhile, I'm eating French fries in this video. Saimin, which is like a ramen noodle type thing, you know, Hawaii saimin. Portuguese sausage, spam, eggs and rice in the morning, for sure. And then at times we have terry burger. The people from Guam, you know, I think in Guam they might have red rice. The KFC has red rice in Guam. Is it illegal to get close to sea turtles? I don't know, but I just don't do it out of respect. Who knows? They could bite. I don't know. Where is a good surfing spot for beginners? If you want to stand up and surf, canoes in Waikiki, White Plains, Barbers Point, off to the side. There's a lot of waves, so that could be a good spot too. Anywhere that's not super reefy. So the thing about canoes and about Eva Beach, like Waikiki, or sorry, White Plains, or we just call it Barbers. It's like rocky, sandy, so you're less likely to get your feet all cut up and stuff. But take some lessons and attach yourself to someone who knows what they're doing if you're gonna try to surf. What is the average temperature? I think the average temperature on the island is like 82 or something. I think it ranges from like 74 in the winter to 84 in the summer. I researched it for a video in the past. We have trade winds. You know, without trade winds right now, it would probably be uncomfortable, but because it's windy, it's comfortable. Is Hawaii overrated as a vacation spot? I don't know, just come and enjoy and be grateful. In 2021, you get to go to Hawaii, it's a beautiful thing. Is marijuana legal in Hawaii? No, but you'd think so sometimes. Do I need a passport to go to Hawaii? We asked this earlier. Nope. Do locals hate mainlanders? We actually made a whole video explaining this, so I'm gonna refer to that video. Long story short, no, as a whole, local people do not hate mainlanders, but there is a cultural difference. Come with a little more Eastern approach rather than Western, and show respect, aloha, and you're fine. How does swimming in the ocean differ from swimming in the lakes? I haven't swam in a ton of lakes, so it's hard for me to compare. At least you can see to the bottom here. The lake might kind of sketch me out. What makes Waikiki special? For me, what makes Waikiki special is my dad was a Waikiki beach boy. When he was a young boy and a teenager, he would teach surf lessons and get the boards ready for the tourists who were renting them, and the beach chairs and all that stuff. And there's a whole golden age of Waikiki where Hawaii was like the new place. Like they discovered a new planet kind of thing. And everyone took their ships here. And my dad would go dive for coins by the ships. And that area of Hawaii tourism and the Waikiki beach boy and the beauty of Waikiki, that's what I think Waikiki. And when I think it's special, that's what I think of. What do you do if a shark attacks? I've heard hit it on the nose and poke its eye out. I'm not sure. How good are the schools in Hawaii? Strictly not supposed to answer that. Check out schooldigger.com and just know that growing up with, you know, slippers, good weather, kiss your auntie, uncle, hello, kiss auntie on the cheek, always show respect, always say auntie and uncle. That's a part of being a kid in Hawaii. It overlaps with the school, but it's not a part of the education system per se. So just know that there's added value living here. Why do so many billionaires move to Hawaii? Because it's beautiful. What golf tournaments are held in Hawaii? Sony Open, and then they have a LPGA one not too far from here. Well, I'm really not sure. Can I walk to work or school or shopping? Depends where you live. Probably the most walkable place in Hawaii is obviously downtown Honolulu, but outside of like the town, like city area, the most walkable place would be Kailua town. Haleiwa can be walkable too if you live in the right place. Anywhere can be walkable if you live right next to shopping centers, but as a whole, I think Kailua town is like the walkable town. Do I need a car? Up to you. If you're like a Mr. Money Mustache blog type of guy or girl, or non-binary, you probably prefer not to have a car and just have a bike. Some people do it, but most people have cars. How good is public transportation? Hawaii like wins awards for its bus system. In terms of the bus system, it's pretty damn good. The rail is a controversial thing, but we do have a rail being built. Is it always hot and humid? Our average humidity is high, like above 50%. For the most part, yeah, we're an island in the ocean. Pretty hot today. In the winter, sometimes it gets down into the 60s, and we're freezing. You know, like when I live in Mililani, which is one of the colder places on the island. Some winter mornings, I can see my breath. You know, like a lot of you are thinking of saying that's as bad as it gets. It's ridiculous. Can you visit all the islands? We talked about that earlier. How many military bases are in Hawaii? Good question. Kaneohe Marine Corps Base, Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, so 1 or 2. Schofield Barracks, big army base. Fort Shafter, Wheeler, and then my favorites, Coast Guard Air Station Barbers Point, Coast Guard Sector and Base Honolulu. There's the federal building where there's district for the Coast Guard. There's even some little odd jobs, some coasties, and then there's some kind of point stuff. Wheeler, Tripler, Army Medical Center. Am I missing any of the main ones? So probably like around 10 main ones. How much is it to rent? So a single family home in Eva Beach is probably going to start nowadays around like $3,200 a month, up to $5,000 a month depending on the quality of the home. Townhomes in Eva Beach probably are gonna start